Hey everybody, I'm Captain Max Fay.
And I'm first mate Anthony Weber.
Welcome to our Dark Side of the Moon podcast.
A weekly podcast where we discuss everything One Piece TCG.
This week we have a special guest with us, Asyraf D Chazz.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for inviting me, Max and Anthony. And it's a great opportunity to be talking with you guys from all across the globe. Sorry.
Good. Thank you for coming on, for sure. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself, Chaz?
Alright, so my name is Asyraf D Chazz. I go by Asyraf D Chazz nowadays. I have a YouTube channel talking about the One Piece card game, and usually we cover on our end like early reveals, box openings, because for where I currently am, I'm in Singapore, and we are sharing the same release date as Japan, so we do get stuff a little bit earlier, but I don't speak Japanese, so I'm mostly just talking about English and relying on like translations. But it's been fun sharing and making content about the game.
I'm very jealous. I would love to
Yeah.
have the product already.
Me too.
It's so close for you guys. It's like only like 2 more months. I'm so excited for everyone to be opening OPO1.
Yeah, me too. It's very exciting.
Yeah, I'm so tired of talking about limited battles with people.
I don't even mind limited battles, but God, is it not set one? And when you've been playing set one online for months, it's just
right. You guys have been like testing a lot of decks, which is like on your the streams, on the channel.
We play everything.
That's all we ever do.
And now even like set two stuff.
We've started to dabble in set two. We're going to get more into it now as we're getting more reveals. We wanted to give it a little time to get fleshed out. Soon the whole thing's going to drop, and once that happens, it's nothing but set two meta for us.
It's going to be so fun.
Yeah. So, Chaz, what other card games have you played before One Piece?
So I started like back in when I was a kid, when I was growing up in school. It was the usual, like I watched the Yu-Gi-Oh series when I was younger, like Duel Masters. And those were the games I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I had like Pokemon cards, but I wasn't a full-on collector. I was just like playing it casually. I didn't even know the rules half the time. But when I grew up and I got into that adult money phase, that's when I started like Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
And that's when I've never financially recovered from that ever since I started playing Magic. And yeah, so I was playing Magic the Gathering for I think about a good 6-7 years. Right now I'm more of a casual commander player, so I don't really need to kind of keep up with the sets and whatever new cards are coming out. And I dabbled into other Bandai games like the Digimon card game and the Dragon Ball Super card game. And when they announced that there was the One Piece card game coming out, and I'm a huge fan of One Piece, I literally dropped everything from like what I wanted to play, and you know what? I'm all in. This is going to be the game for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was exactly the same way. Like everything you just said, I like resonated with everything. Like
literally, you're describing our story to us.
I feel like that's the case for a lot of people, and I'm glad we're all on the same boat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, what was your first card game?
First ever, I think it should be Pokemon. Like when I was younger, I mean I didn't buy it for myself, but like my parents bought some packs or whatever, and I remember opening some stuff. I had like a starter deck, but I didn't really have anyone to play with, so it just kind of but it kind of just sat on the shelf. And yeah, but with the same old story that you've heard, like when we moved houses, like the collection was gone. I can't find it anymore. But I remember that's the first game that I played. Oh, along like the WWF. I don't know if you guys know about the wrestling cards. It was a thing here in Singapore.
I actually
I played a little bit. Huh. Oh, you do? Wow, nice.
What would you say was the first card game you took competitively?
Oh, okay. If it's competitively, then 100% Magic. I think that's when I really started to attend like weekly tournaments. I mean, I wasn't attached back then. I was a single man with disposable adult income. I was like, every Friday I'm playing my locals. I really was all in, and that was that kind of like trained me to be like, I really like playing at at least a competitive high level. I think that's where the most fun is for me.
For sure. So moving on to One Piece, how long have you been playing the One Piece TCG?
Oh man, like the full deck list for Red and Purple, like for Luffy and Kaido, I think that's when I officially, like, the moment the deck lists were out and people put it on Tabletop Simulator, that's when I started playing. I was like, yep, let's go.
Yeah, awesome.
Yes.
Same with us. We
Yep.
immediately, as soon as it dropped.
We like ran to get like printer paper and get ink, and we put it out the trial deck and just play each other.
we did.
Oh, that's so
We
fun.
didn't know what who's who did at the time.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember like the early reveal days. I was like, oh, like what is Sanji doing? Like, oh, he got rushed. How does the Dawn work? We don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what was the first One Piece deck you played?
I think it was the Luffy starter deck. It was the Luffy starter deck, and then we kind of swapped between me and my friend between the Luffy and the Kaido starter deck. And yeah, it was quite fun back then, where there were only 2 decks in the meta game.
Yeah.
But when Useless Kid came out and when the Crocodile came out, like the full deck list, and that's when we started like experimenting with that. And yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. But I still preferred playing Luffy. I think it's just a red thing. I do like being aggressive in decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I know. I've seen like a ton of your videos, and you talk about how much you like Red Luffy. So I also love Red Luffy to like so much. So
Let's go.
what would what would you consider on top, like, to follow with that? What would you consider your first deck that you mained in the One Piece?
Okay, from the release of OPO1, the first deck that I actually really played and brought to like a local tournament was Zoro. Because I really liked the Rush Zoro. It's straightforward, easy to play. I had like all my Rush boys ready to go. And I for a good while, I think for about a month or two, I was playing nothing but Zoro. Only when the Japanese players started posting like deck lists for Red Luffy was when I kind of went back to Red Luffy. And I have not changed the deck list ever since then. I should branch out more and play more leaders, especially since I'm talking about like the game. But every time I'm like, I want to play Crocodile this week. I prefer playing Luffy. But eventually I will change my deck. I do have a deck that I want to play.
What deck is that?
I did see a list for a Red Green Luffy. Red Green Law is definitely the superior deck, but I want to play some Red Green Luffy just to kind of throw people off.
Red Green Luffy is also.
I don't mind if I lose.
It's really exciting in set 2. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
So,
a lot of the green film cards, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Get good with it now, and then you'll be better with it when that comes.
Oh, that's a good point. That's true.
Really good point. He's not wrong.
So, what would you say is your favorite One Piece card, and why?
Oh, okay. I have to give this to my girl, Nico Robin.
Oh my god, I do not blame you.
Great card.
But I will explain why. Of course, first of all, she's like number 1 waifu in my heart.
Me too.
But secondly,
Robin.
Yeah, but secondly, I think like red decks, when you put her down on like turn 2 or if you're going first, it kind of is the threat that you have to answer early on, because if you're facing green, it's good against green. If you're facing like those low costed blockers, like okay, Robin is like the perfect card, which I do feel like it's very important right now in the current metagame. But not the strongest card. Useless Kid exists, so that throne belongs to him. But I love me some Robin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love that card. So are you caught up in the One Piece anime at all?
I don't really watch the anime. So I'm a full-on manga reader, but I only watch like I go back and watch the fight scenes essentially. Hopefully I don't get cancelled on it, because there's not enough time in the day for me to watch anime, because I have like work and all. But I always take time to watch like important things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm the exact same way.
Then are you caught up in the manga?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. So, speaking to the One Piece, just in general, who is your favorite One Piece character and why?
Ooh, okay. My favorite character is actually Jinbei. He's my favorite Straw Hat ever since he's like kind of been properly reintroduced to the series in Wano. And every time I think about Jinbei, I think about his moment of in Whole Cake Island, where he's just like talking with Big Mom and like, you know what, I'm leaving your crew. And I'm not scared of you just because you're a Yonko, man.
I love that.
I'm paraphrasing, of
That's a great
course.
scene.
Yeah. And I was just like, the balls on this man. Okay, straight shout out to my favorite.
No,
It used to be
that's
Frankie for a
ridiculous.
while, but after that moment, Jinbei's my number one.
You know, it's so
Freaking
funny
cryptic.
because the story that you're describing is like very similar to another member of the Moon Men. We have
Oh,
friend
really?
Nick, yeah, who loved Frankie to the end of the earth, but he's a spoiler fiend. He knew what was going on ahead of time. So
Yeah.
Jinbei was always his favorite, but I think if he didn't know about Jinbei properly, Frankie would have been his favorite leading up to Jinbei. But Jinbei is his favorite for like the same reasons you're describing.
Oh man,
He's cool as hell. That's why
Oh yeah! Oh my god! Jinbei's
oh wow. I need to call him right now. We need to be best friends. But I'm glad. Like, yeah, I think a lot of people were won over by that moment specifically in Whole Cake Island, and I was like, yeah. After that, I'm waiting for an alternate art of Jinbei. If there is, I'm going to try and collect like a whole binder page of it. Same with like Nico Robin, of course. But
Of course.
We have
Hopefully.
we have the anniversary Jinbei, right?
oh yes, we do.
The anniversary route.
I only
Oh,
have
yeah.
one of those. One of each of those.
Gotta
but
fill your
hopefully I can get
binder,
more.
man. You gotta.
That's true. What am I doing?
Like, you have to do it. Now you no choice.
You're legally bound. You've been on the podcast.
That will be my life mission from now on.
Yeah. What is your favorite arc and why?
Ooh, okay. I think I've said this on another podcast, but my favorite arc, hands down, is Ennis Lobby. I mean, it is, and for the reasons of which first of all, it's a Robin arc.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's one.
Right.
And it's just so good. Like, okay, first of all, introduction of I mean, I'm counting like Water 7 to Ennis Lobby, but specifically Ennis Lobby is my favorite. I mean, like, we got the Frankie, we got the like Pluton, the blueprints. Like, there's so much lore that was built, especially in that particular region, like for the part of the story.
Yeah.
And at the end, it kind of all ended with like the death of Going Merry, which, you know, emotional moment for sure. I still can't watch that scene without properly like bawling into tears.
Me too.
Me either.
Yeah.
I was really watching
And I
it like a week ago. So I didn't even I was watching it with my girlfriend because she's going through it right now, and she's
Oh
watching
my
the
God.
anime. And so we got to Sunny, and I was crying. I was
bawl
in
my
tears.
eyes out everything.
Oh man,
It's a done.
I was man, like I love that scene so much. It's like one of my top 10. Like, it's okay, probably like my top 2 or 3 moments
Yeah.
of One Piece right there. But yeah, after that, I was like, Ennis Lobby had so much power ups for the Straw Hats for one thing, and it was just a great story overall. And it had a lot of badass moments. With like Luffy and the rest of the crew standing at the ledge, and they're like, "Oh, Soga King, shoot that flag down." I was like, "Yo, man, just declared war on the government just to save a friend."
Yep.
No.
So
it's
yeah,
a
I
good
love
decision.
Ennis Lobby.
Ennis Lobby is an absolutely magnificent arc. Absolutely.
It's
Good
so
pick.
good.
So much happens. It's like, ugh.
I know it's, a lot of people would say either like Marineford, and yeah, they are great arcs for sure, like Skypiea, Marineford. I don't know how you guys feel about Wano, but I know a lot of people either hate it or love it. I
Love it.
I love
also
it too.
It's such
Like,
a good
as
arc.
a proper read, like without like doing weekly, it's like, oh damn, this is so good. But yeah, Ennis Lobby introduced not 1 but 2 of the gears, so I gotta put it up there.
That's
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Well, today we're going to talk about the One Piece Championship Preliminary hosted by Cavdean's Den. You actually got to commentate on this event. I know you made a video for your own YouTube channel talking about your experience, but can you briefly tell us about it here?
Yeah, for sure. So it was a Singapore Asia Championship, like preliminary event. So the top 2 players of that tournament would go on to play in the regional Southeast Asia regional tournament, and I guess that will lead into. I don't think it leads to Worlds. It's just like Southeast Asia regionals first, and then there's another tournament for that in Japan. But from my experience there, I was lucky enough to be invited to be one of the commentators for the event, and it was so much fun. It was the first proper time that I'm actually a commentator for a stream. I'm no stranger to like streaming on my own, but like for an actual event, that was my first. And I've always wanted to do it because I'm a huge fan of watching like Pro Tour tournaments for Magic the Gathering and all of the big events. And I've always like, oh man, it would be so cool to be just, you know, commentating about the game, because, you know, it does require understanding of the metagame at least, and specific cards and how decks work. And for me being like doing content for YouTube and talking about the game for so long, it kind of became like second nature to me. And the only thing that we prepared, both Noah and I, my co-commentator, were just like we printed out just the card translation effects, and we only like referred it when we didn't know what the name of Babanuki was. I believe it was the 5-cost vanilla for purple. Like,
yeah, it's
if I'm not wrong.
7K is Babanuki.
Yeah. And I was like, I forgot the name of it. And that was the only card that we actually referred to. But it was such a fun experience. They were like, I believe the final number was 412, though the max capacity was stated to be 512. And it was a fun event. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
I have to say, I'm really surprised to hear that it's your first time commentating a big event, because from watching it, because I was watching you do it, it did not seem it at all. You guys really know
oh my
what
God.
you're doing.
You guys are doing such a good job. It was so nice.
It was. We were. First of all, thank you guys so much for saying that. It really means a lot. We were nervous. Like Noah and I, we were talking with each other, and we were like, "Dude, I don't know how it's gonna go," because like we've talked like in real life. We played against each other. We do attend locals together, like for one of the shops that we go to, but we've never really like sat down and like had a conversation with each other. And then when we got there, we were a little bit nervous at the start. I was trying to be like, okay, let's just go. I was really excited. And then when they were doing like a sound check for us before the event started, we just like, hey, you know what? Let's run through our intro. And then it started to like flow really well. And Noah is someone that I could really like have a nice conversation. I think we complement each other really well as like people talking about the game. And I was just like, okay, you know what? It's on. And there we go.
Yeah, big shout out to him. He did also a really, really good job.
Oh my God.
Oh, shout out to Noah for sure. I feel like I don't know, like it just felt so right when we were commenting together. And I like if there were more events, I would love to do it again with him.
Oh, actually, I would love to see that, because you guys had great chemistry up there, truly.
Yeah, you guys did really good. I can't emphasize that enough. I was literally so jealous. I was like, living my dream.
Hopefully when there's events in the States, like, I want to see the Moonman team doing that commentary. I'll be like watching in the live stream, like, let's go.
We're trying for it.
I'm my best.
Dude, I hope that happens for you guys.
If you're watching, you need a commentator, let me know.
yeah, whoever's watching. I would love to be part of that. That'd be nice.
And I realized, like, and this is just, I guess this would be a cool story to tell for this podcast, was that, you know how commentators always have like blazers on, it's the official look. So I had a blazer that I have not worn for like 2 to 3 years. Like the last time I put it on was like pre-pandemic, and I think it was like 19 or 18. So I was like, okay, let's try it on. And like right the night before the event, I was like, oh man, this doesn't fit. And okay, you know what? No blazer for the event set. So I got to buy a new one. So hopefully I can commentate again, and I'll have a blazer by then.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be super sick. Very professional looking kind of thing. Like, I'm so there.
It's the commentator look.
Yeah, it's the staple. You gotta have it, right?
That's true. I kind of miss my
underneath.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Chazz has a longer video describing his experience on his own YouTube channel, like we said, and there will be a link to that in the description below.
Yeah. And talking more about the event, what were some of the more common decks that you saw?
Oh, okay. So Noah and I talked about like what decks we expected to see, like right at the start of the stream. And I think the common ones that we were expecting were, of course, Yusta's Kid, with its, it's the most consistent deck around. I think at the hands of a good pilot, it's the best deck in my opinion. And with like the number of Yusta's Kid that's going to be present, we were wondering like how many Kaidos were we gonna see, and we did see quite a few purple Kaidos, and that was to be expected as well. And currently, like in the weeks prior to the event itself, like around the locals, we have been seeing like a resurgence of Red Green Law. I think it was the most popular deck when OP01 released, and it kind of fell off a little bit, and then now it's making like a huge comeback. People have been figuring out like the right list for it, and we were expecting that. And lastly was like Red Luffy. We did want to see like blue list. We wanted to see like a blue purple list, but we only saw one blue deck on the feature table. and I didn't even see any like blue purple list. I'm pretty sure someone played it over there, but if and then Rysora, of course, yeah, that was another deck that I was expecting to see.
For sure.
Sadly, no red green Luffy.
What decks did you see that you were the most surprised were there?
There was a well, I mean, it was surprising because like I didn't know how many of it we would see, but there was a Doflamingo deck that was being played on the feature match, but Noah actually saw a mono blue crocodile that was being played in one of the tables near the casting booth, and he was saying like, oh, okay, we hope to see that like on the feature table, because I don't think a lot of people was gonna bring like crocodile, though it does stand a good matchup against some of the decks, especially against green, with like always return a tough time dealing with Eustace Gate. That's the unfortunate part, but all decks have a hard time dealing with Eustace Gate.
Yeah, 8-cost kid's literal nightmare.
It's a very strong card in the current meta, for sure.
It is the format warping card, indeed.
Yep, for sure, for sure. So in this event, the Navy Star deck, was that legal?
Oh yes, it was legal to use, and we were kind of hoping to see. I didn't see anyone play it. I'm not sure if there was someone who brought it, and if there were, I was going to like, you know what? I hope that it made its way on the feature table, but fortunately we didn't see any. And I'm not sure if I heard if anyone brought it. I mean, if they did, I would be like, dude, respect to you, because it's like. It's still like a shell of a deck for now. I actually lost to a black deck playing like Red Luffy at one of the locals. Like the week before. I was like, I don't know how to play against this deck. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, it's literally a trial deck. And I also had that experience. I was playing Red Green Law at one point, and then I don't know if I've only like lost to it once, but when I lost to it, I was like, man, I just lost to a literal trial.
And that's the beauty about the game, right? It's like you can have like the most tuned deck, but sometimes you just lose to a starter deck.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that the Navy with just the black starter deck, do you think it holds any merit at all in the current meta?
I think it can definitely have a decent chance over like some of the decks, but against like cards like against decks like Kid, maybe even Kaido, is gonna have a lot of it's gonna have a hard time. Or at least a harder time to deal with them. But like once OPO2 comes out, and we've seen like some of the top end, especially like the newly released like Akainu with the effects, oh man, it's gonna be so good. It's just missing that one cost searcher feel, or like more card draw, slightly more card draw in it.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yes,
absolutely. It drains your hand immediately.
Oh
yeah,
this card hurts.
Yeah, we talk about it like, all the time, where black just needs something to recur, like a card that recurs from trash or anything to draw to make up for the discard. Literally, if it just has that, oh my god.
Oh, it's gonna be good. If black has something like Jewelry Bonnie, like, oh damn.
Oh my lord.
I didn't think
I don't know about that.
We get something like a Nami, like it's like an on-play
we'll
ability.
Take Nami. I don't think we need more Bonnies running around.
We don't need more Bonnies. Bonnie's MVP. If I were to say like the MVP of that preliminary tournament, it wasn't Kid, it was Jewelry Bonnie.
Bonnie is nuts.
It gets so much done.
Yeah, Bonnie's insane. Speaking to single cards, were there any techs that surprised you in like decks?
Someone playing, I believe it's called Bao Huang, the purple card, the one that you can look into, or like your opponent reveals, I believe, 2 cards or something. Yeah, someone was playing it in the deck, didn't actually play it. He used it for a counter during that turn, but I was like, oh, that's spicy. Maybe he just wants information. Maybe like he has something up his sleeves for using that card. But like out of every single card that we saw during the feature matches, like that was the one that was like, oh wow, I did not expect to see that. Babanuki, I did.
That's sick.
Man, I would love to know why he ran that 2-drop. That's a 2-drop 3K. Like, I'm pretty sure.
Right, and if I'm not wrong, it's like 1K.
It's
counter?
a 1K counter. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
So you're not playing it for like 2K counter. So I mean, like, sadly, he used it for counter.
Yeah, right.
But I would love to see him play it. I'm like, damn.
The only thing I can imagine is Kaido has like no turn one plays, whether you're first or second. So maybe he just wants more early game tempo and a Garrett. Like if he's going second, he wants to make sure, since he's going slower, he wants to make sure he's playing something on turn two that can help him with his tempo. But
right,
then,
yeah.
I mean, then does he not run? I would just run more 2K blockers, like Bao Huang.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would run like Maria Urashi over Bao Huang, but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, that man was in the tournament, but I'm just like sitting at the side, so I'm not gonna judge his choices.
Yeah, no, I mean,
For sure.
If I can track him down, I'm gonna ask him about it for sure.
please
Yeah.
do. Let us know. I'd love to
I'll let
Yeah.
you guys know.
Bao Huang.
Yeah.
Because it's really cool. It's really interesting to see.
Yeah,
For sure.
I feel like there's so many like interesting cards for OP1. Like I was
Yes.
just thinking about Arlong the other day. Like,
Love Arlong.
yeah,
What a
I want to
cool
see it being
card.
played more, but I guess it just doesn't have a lot going for it.
No, it
but maybe in the
doesn't.
future.
I think it would be
Yeah.
played more if we had sideboards.
Oh, interesting.
Because you could
Yeah.
side it into event heavy decks or like low
Yeah.
hand decks. I'm happy we don't have sideboards, for the record. Just that's my take. Is I don't really think
Yeah.
it's too situational into most matchups, and the matchups that it's really good, like excels into, aren't that popular. Like it's really good into like blue purple crocodile. Cool.
Yeah, when's the last time you see
Yeah.
Purple Croc? Like, super
Oh, man,
unfortunate.
I think the last time I played against a blue purple crocodile was like about a month ago, at like a local,
Wow.
and like, oh man, I mean, right now that the championship is over, I think not a lot of people are going to be as like, they're not playing their mains probably. Like maybe for local casual
Having more
tournaments, they're
fun,
just like,
yeah.
yeah, we can
Yeah.
just use whatever leader they want. Here comes all the film shanks leader.
Oh god! Why is
Man,
that
I'd love to
leader
see that.
bad? I want him to be good.
It's so crazy because he's such a like cool character and
He's
so strong in the
Shanks.
manga. He's literally Shanks, and like let's make this really cool character that everyone loves and wants to be good, and just make him complete trash. Like it's so crazy.
Oh my
Right.
god!
I mean, oh man, I really wanted like that leader to have like a substantial effect. I mean, it's okay, it's decent, but
It's
there's
It's
fine.
just so.
yeah, you're right. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
Because to me, it looks like the worst leader in the game.
I mean, King exists.
Yeah, but
so-
King can run
King-
Onigashima, so
Oh, that's true.
Shanks
fair
could
point, fair point.
not.
Yeah.
And Shanks is
super
my
unfortunate.
favorite character. So when like the Shanks
Oh.
leader got announced, I was like, yeah, Shanks leader, let's go. And then no.
Oh, hopefully there'll be a redemption arc for Shams.
He's
and he'll get
got to
his-
have something at some point. He's Shanks.
Yeah.
He's Shanks. So actually, as we're talking about Shanks, in this event, the film Red promos, they're banned, right?
Yes. So the Uta demo deck that was given in Japan for Film Red
Yeah.
was banned, as well as the V Jump and Psycho Jump promos. So
Right.
the big 8-cost Kaido in the dragon form,
Yep.
which could be a very good boost to Kaido decks. It was banned, and for me, like the sad thing was, I love the Uta demo deck because it brought so many things to red. Like
Yeah.
the Trafalgar Law, Beppo was super good, and the big vanillas. I need the Red Hat Pirates, and apparently they're banned. I think they did say, I believe they did the official Facebook mentioned something like once they solve like distribution
It was a
outside Japan.
temporary ban, yeah, because
Yeah,
it was
so-
to answer scalpers because the cards were getting so scarce and were so relevant. People were selling them for insane numbers because
Oh,
they were not
insane.
available to other regions that use Japanese cards. So they just wanted to. They said we're just going to give it a temp ban until we get them distributed to everyone to give everyone a fair shot at these events. Which honestly, I'm all here for. I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah,
I
for
think it's a
sure.
great move by Bandai for sure. Like just even the playing field a little bit, and not allow like, okay, if you want to play this deck which can really do really well, you don't have to spend
Yeah.
like that much money on it.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
It's
So I know-
especially wild coming from Dragon Ball and Digimon, where I'm
Yeah,
so used to
oh my
Bandai
God.
just bending us over a barrel and not caring about their players at all. And now it's like, hey, listen, we know your guys are hurting over this. We'll throw you a bone. And it's not the Bandai I know.
Yeah, it's always like, oh yeah, here's like the best card you can possibly have. Like it's a staple in these decks. They're promos though. Good luck.
Yeah,
like,
you're gonna need 4 of it forever. It's an extremely limited promo.
Oh no, is that I believe it's like the Garurumon for Digimon. I don't know. I heard about some like Gabumon like Digimon decks that got affected by some bannings, and man, it must suck. If you spend that much money, or if you don't spend that much money, and then like people are playing it. But you know what? Third time's the charm, right? Bandai's just like, hey, you know what? We're doing it right this time.
Keep it up, Bandai.
For One Piece.
Yeah, no, they're doing awesome.
God, they had to bring out the big guns for One Piece. I mean,
yeah,
oh sure, they got a big IP behind them, so
exactly.
That's the one thing that I was worried about the game is that like the IP is huge, and I think Bandai themselves, I mean, I'm not speaking on behalf of them, but I don't think they expected it to be as popular during the initial launch, and that's where like supply issues happen. And I think they're rectifying it. I think they're printing more like OPO1 product. I think they're going to be releasing it like another wave, so that's good. But I hope that when it comes to the English release, like they saw what happened during the Japanese release. They're like, okay, you know what, we need to prepare more supply.
They already messed it up. I run a game store, and my super pre-release got shorted to the ends of the earth. I got one of the 4 starter decks, and I'm not the only one. There are other stores out there that I'm hearing with the exact same problems. So I'm hoping they were woefully underprepared for how popular One Piece truly is.
Everyone was so ready for it. I mean, like for you guys, like you guys were in like the global Discord, and like we were all talking with each other, like literally weeks after the announcement was made for the game, and like people were ready since then.
Yeah,
so
seriously,
Bandai has to kind of like, there's a whole supply issue that's gonna be coming your way. You guys have to address that, but hopefully, like everyone gets the product on time. And
that's the hope. Yeah, from here.
I wish that. Yeah. I wish that both of you all open in manga shanks. That's my truest wish for you guys. 4. I hope you pull 4 from like 4 cases. Each of them.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Nice.
If it doesn't happen, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. Put a curse on us.
I'll send you my luck. I don't need it now. I'm not opening any more product. I don't want to.
So talking about the promos, I know you briefly mentioned how we don't have access to ACOS Kaido, and I know your Luffy deck had those like the vanillas and stuff in your previous videos. I don't remember if it was locals or something. I don't remember. It was a while ago. But if you think the promos were available for the tournament, how much do you think would have changed the outcome?
Okay, so I want to briefly just kind of say I believe the top 16 decks were 5 purple Kaidos, 4 red green Laws, then 4 red Luffys, and then 3 Eustace Kid. So like Luffy had already performed really well. I think people have been learning to play without those promos, but I think with those promos, I think Luffy might be performing a little better because Luffy's just missing that kind of top end. If you're going for like the late game, those vanillas really do help. At least the Yasop and Ben Beckman, the 6 and 7 cost respectively.
Yeah, those are good.
Those are just good to have. Like on the field, you know what? This is hard for you to deal with, and it's really good. But like without them, the top end, like, of course, there's always Shanks, and the promo Luffy or like Rush Luffy. But I feel like there's like something missing,
Yeah, I saw your video when you had because I think seeing your video when you included those Yasop and Ben Beckman was the first time I actually saw a Luffy player put the vanillas in, and I was immediately like, oh my god! I was like, I want to play it like that, and I was like, man, I got inspiration, and I was in the same breath I was like, man, but these are promos. We have no idea how in English we're gonna get them yet, so it's like,
right, yeah.
I was like, I can't even try it and feel good.
Oh no. Do you guys have I believe Film Red is showing soon, right?
Film Red's coming out in like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
2-3 weeks.
But there's no news on like promos over there.
Nope. Nope, they have not told us if we're getting into the
I
movie.
can't imagine that we are, honestly, because if we're
Me either.
getting them through the movies, we're getting them before set 1 releases.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, good
It'd
point.
be like over a month before set 1 releases, because I'm going to 2 early showings, both for the dubbed and the subbed on November
Oh, what
4th.
a Chad.
So
What a Chad.
I work right next to a movie theater, and I saw a sign that was like, "Hey, day before early showings." I was like, "Done, it's over."
Man,
Take
so
my
good.
money.
You're gonna enjoy it, man. Oh,
I can't
awesome.
wait.
It's so much fun.
I can't wait for it. I really.
Oh, hype.
I've been looking forward to it for so long. So yeah, but I mean, what tends to happen, in my experience with other card games, is in other Bandai games. In Japan, it's very common for you get promos at events, obviously, but from what little I know, I see a lot of promos at events be alternate arts, and you get a lot of promos over there as promotional material through cross promotion, through things like going to movies, through things like buying magazines, stuff like that. That is way less common in the States. It happens. It used to happen a lot more often than it does now. But it's just not as popular over here as it is, as popular a medium over here as it is over there. So we tend to get the promos that they would get via magazines and such for going to locals. We'll get tournament kits with a lot of those promos just sprinkled in.
All right, and I hope that's the case. I hope that's where they put that Uta Film Deck promos. I think. I mean, it's a lot of cards. It's like 14 different cards, but
oh yeah,
some of them are vanillas. So they could probably like slot them between like releases and like throughout events. So hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, I would like to at least some way to like distribute it like off the rip instead of like we're in Japan. They had to be like, oh, we banning these cards until more distributed.
Yeah,
I really want them to learn and be like, okay, we're just throw them in like box hoppers and stuff, or something crazy. Cool. Not anything that be like I don't care how, just as long as they do it. Like,
yeah, I think that's a great way. Like, yeah, even like box toppers could be cool for them to just slot it in, right? But at least for like the English stuff, like for one, they might handle the promos. Like it might have the same functional effect, but the artwork might be different. Like same with your Luffy, the I believe like the winner Luffy and the promo that you get for attending the Super pre-release. It's. I mean, the artwork is different. It looks great, and maybe like you guys will have like special artwork, so like we can be jealous of the English release
instead of the other way around.
Yeah,
well, you know, for our
promos now.
For our pre-release, every single card in the pre-release starter decks is gold stamped, and it says Super pre-release on it.
Yeah,
and we got alternate art leaders.
Right.
So I mean, we've already got one leg up. As far as I know, I haven't seen them anywhere else. So we've already got that one little niche, you know, where my Bonnies look better than your Bonnies, punk. So
a little gold there. It's like, is your Bonnie super? I don't think so.
Yeah,
and that's the great thing. And I think that's like, okay, since the release is probably like about like we are. I think at this point will be like 2 sets before OPO1 comes out for the English release. Yeah,
you will.
So at least y'all will have like something special. Maybe.
Yeah.
So it kind of balances out the weight. But the Super pre-release, like the stamp, oh my god, that's so good. And it's going for, I know people were trying to, like, I've been seeing sales posts and on eBay and all. It's going like 75 per starter deck.
They're going for a lot,
least.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Some people, like, I know a lot of people who spent like so much money on them, like $100+.
The average, if you're, the very common price is $70-ish. If you're lucky, you can get something for 50. But I've seen them go for over 100 before.
Oh, wow.
Especially early, when the events were first starting happening, that's when you saw a lot of the price be really high.
Yeah.
Right. Man, and the winner promo as well. I think it was like sitting around like 700.
600. Yeah. If I had $600, I could go buy one right now. But even that has gone for 800 plus, 1,000 plus.
Oh wow!
I saw a graded graded 10 sell for $1,400 the other day.
Ooh. That's insane.
You know, honestly, I expected a graded 10 to go for more. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I mean, with how limited it is, a 10 grade, I there's only gonna be less of those as time goes on, right?
Right, that's true. Yeah, And that was what I was thinking. Like this Luffy promo, like they might not bring it back for like future super pre-releases, right?
They
It might
probably
Yeah.
won't.
this one.
It should be
Yeah.
this.
It's now or
So-
never.
It's gonna be a. I mean,
And I
I
need
know
3
Oryx
more.
Samurai bought his like the day after his super pre-release or something for a decent price from what he told us. And yeah, I was like, oh man, I gotta stop looking at eBay.
Yeah, for
My
sure.
wallet already hits me when I'm chasing all the alternate cards.
The life of any card game player, really.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I just bought like because flagship events are really hard to get to due to like registration. I know a lot of people want to join because they want that chopper. Not really that for that first place like flagship Luffy promo. I mean, like it would be great to have, but you really have to like win all your games. So I've never pictured myself owning one. That's fine. But the chopper promo, I was like, man, I should really give that a shot. And I've been to like 2 flagship events. And like I didn't make it to top 8. I lost both my win and ins to top 8 due to like I guess I was just too tired or what. And so I pulled the trigger and just bought one from a local person over here, and I was like, yeah, my wallet hates me. With this game, I gotta think of more organs to sell. Maybe I can.
Oh, I'd sell my
Does
organs
anybody need a
happily.
spleen? I don't know.
If you're watching this and you need a spleen, Asyraf D Chazz
Yeah,
Twitter
hit me
is in
up.
the description.
Yeah.
I'll be. I can trade it for a promo. I'm good.
It's gonna be like the main character of the Chainsaw Man. He's like missing his eye, missing his like all his body parts. It's
Oh,
the
right.
beginning.
Oh man, dude. Sorry to try to sidetrack, but since you mentioned Chainsaw Man, have you guys watched the episodes yet?
No, I
Yeah,
haven't.
I have.
Oh man, it looks so good.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
to
it's
check it
pretty
out
sweet.
for sure. I have to.
I also,
check it out
like-
for sure.
I read them like I got caught up to the manga before it all came like the first episode came out because I was like, all right, what is this about? And I was like, oh man, this is sweet. And I had to catch up. Like, it only took me like a day, and then
Oh right.
it's fair. I mean, compared to One Piece, it's like nothing.
Yeah,
In
right.
terms of length.
Once you've read One Piece, nothing is a challenge.
Yeah. Once
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
not
Chainsaw Man. That's
Yeah.
a day's work right there.
yeah, too easy. And I was like, man, this is actually pretty good. I can't wait to see it animated. And then the episode came out, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is sweet. Like, this is good stuff.
Right. I mean, I love the artwork on it. I mean, like the whole like devil concept, and it looks so cool. I mean, there's a guy with a chainsaw on his head. Yes, sign me up.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh.
Looks super good.
Yeah.
So, back to the event. Royale.
yeah, sorry.
No worries. Royale was giving out some really nice chairs at the event.
Oh yeah.
We got to see you use them. Would you
Oh,
suggest these chairs, having sat in them all day, now that there's not a gun pointed at you all off camera, to pump them up?
I'm not sponsored by Royale, but I will say that I sat in literally just one spot for almost. I mean, like of course we went to the breaks and all, but it was a good almost 12 hours, and I was comfortable throughout the event. Like literally, it was a great chair.
Man,
and
I need to
the
get
fact
some
that it
chairs.
looks great. I think
Looks
with
so nice.
yeah, if your store or if you're having it at home, if your place is air conditioned, then it's great. It's a great buy. If it's not, then for here in Singapore, we're a very humid country. That's when it kind
Yep.
of a lot of these gaming chairs get a little bit like because of sweat or body is sticky and all, and it gets really quite uncomfortable really quite fast. But if and if it's cold, it's comfy, and you're sitting on it for like if you're doing like content and everything, it's great. I'm thinking of buying one for myself, but down the line in the future, once I've moved out from my place, I'm definitely gonna try and invest in one because it looks good and it's like it's
So
trending, right?
sweet.
It's One Piece.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's exactly it.
I literally was like, when I was watching and I saw you guys were pulling out the chairs and everything, I literally found the website. I had to look and at least see the price on it. And again, we're not sponsored by Royale like at all, but man, I would kill for one of those chairs. It looks so good, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I was so close to being like, I'm like spending all my money and be like, I gotta get one of these. I was so close, but somehow I persevered. I don't know how, but I did.
Gotta get ready for OPO1. That's the motivation right there.
That's true.
That's where
Save
your
your money.
wallet's gonna.
Exactly. So
But,
speaking
oh, man,
again
the
to the
chairs
Oh yeah. Oh god, I can't. I can't even. Oh, I'm still close even now. Honestly, I'm like after this, I'm like, man, do I just buy a chair? um. So back to the event again. If you were to recommend a deck for a player to bring to the tournament, what would you suggest?
Ooh, well, if I think at this point, I would definitely say Eustace Kid. But if you want to play Eustace Kid, you need to know how to play against Eustace Kid with Eustace Kid. The
Oh yeah,
mirror
mirror
matches
match.
are like, yeah, it's such a grindy fest, and uh, but you really have to know the matchups because like Eustace Kid
Yeah.
is not the deck that like a person can just pick up and then like they can win events straight away. It's quite technical in some ways, especially with some of the turns. Like, do you hold back? Do you clear the board, or do you go for the win? And we saw that a lot during the tournament, where a player playing Sasuke decided to, you know what, I'm gonna clear the board and I'm gonna like set up my defenses and go for the win next turn. But that was the wrong play because like
Right.
he was down to like 0 life. The other player had like was using Zoro, so they got like the Diablo jumpies, the unblockable stuff, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so he had to. You gotta know when to be aggressive, but I'll definitely say like Eustace Kid would be my pick.
Yeah. I feel like when my testing, I'm like would be so close to playing Kid, and every time I play against Kid, I'm like feeling so powerful, so strong, and then I play against Mirror Match, and I'm like, oh my god, I hate this. It's like
Uh,
this is the worst. It's the only reason I've never played Green because Mirror Match is literal hell.
yeah, it's really grindy, and I feel like whoever drops the bigger threats like the 7 cost Eustace Kid and the 8 cost kid, like whoever gets their kid down first and then makes it stick will probably be the one that wins.
Yep.
It's a
Yep.
huge
And then like
advantage.
if they have Okiku's and Basil Hawkins, it's like, oh, look at this
Oh
huge
man,
advantage I get. It's like, ugh.
Hawkins is so good right now, man. It's so hard to deal with, but it's so good.
Oh
Yep,
yeah.
I called it early on. I was like, "Well, I'm taking 2 Hawkins in every time I
That's
can,"
true.
and then
Back when
yeah,
nobody was playing any Hawkins, Anthony was always playing at least 2. And then
yep,
it's
There you
everyone
go.
started playing 4 and he was like, "Ah, I knew it. I knew it."
yeah. I called it. I was saying, I was there, ground zero.
There you go.
Oh,
You're the trendsetter right there.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
Or
yeah.
used to consult
absolutely.
Obviously.
Hawkins.
Yeah. It's not because the card's literally amazing. It's because I said it. Obviously.
Uh, so I get the feeling I already know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, Chaz. If you
Okay.
were to have entered this event, what would you have played and why?
Oh, I would have played Luffy.
Mhm.
I think first of all, it's the only deck I have sleeved up. Honest answer right there. But if I wasn't playing Luffy, and I really wanted to kind of try my best to do decently at the event, and I have practice with it, I would have played Red Green Law. I think it's a fun deck, and
Mm.
there's a lot of ways where you have like maybe like 1 or 2 characters on your field, and then suddenly you're up to 5, and then you're doing the law room shambles thing,
Yeah.
and then you just start like being very aggressive. And
Yep.
yeah, I would have brought Red Green Law
Law is so
you
good.
so you're thinking you'd have brought Law over Luffy?
if I had like more experience with it. I would have brought Law over Luffy.
Okay.
Yeah.
What matchups would you be the most concerned about? Like, what are you worried about playing into?
Man, if I was playing Red Green Law, I would be worried about any deck with a Nico Robin, because that deck.
Yeah.
Whoever like plants the Robin first would be. It's a hard time to get rid of, unless you have your own Robin that you play first. Maybe pair it with like an Otama or something. Kaido has good tools, but we didn't see a lot of the OPO1 7 cost Kaido, the one that can pop 2 things. We saw more of
Oh,
the
the
6
7 cost
cost
King, huh?
Oh, King, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
And then because I guess they wanted to go for the bigger threats, but that 7 cost King would have would set you back a little bit more as well.
It does
And
indeed.
Yeah. For
but you can
sure.
always rebuild as fast as if you have the cards for it. If they don't get rid of the Bonnies, there you go, full on
It's an
just
easy
refill
win.
the hand right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get surprised nowadays when I see Kyle lists still like even the ones that topped at the event. Not a ton of them ran more 7 drops because of how popular Law and Zoro are becoming more and more as time goes on. I'm just like,
Right.
where's our 7 cost? I still don't see any. I'm like, what the hell? But for
That's
sure,
true,
I
yeah.
agree.
It should be more like apparent in the list, right? But yeah, I guess some people have been taking them out. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was weird. Like, I guarantee that there are reasons and stuff, and it totally makes sense. You want to be for consistency, but I'm just
Mhm.
like, man, you have the perfect answer, and I never see it. Like it's so weird, and they still do well too, which is the like best part about it. So you don't even, doesn't even matter.
Right, yeah. I think for like Kaido players, like the most important thing for like a Kaido player is how well you draw your Onigashima in your opening hand.
It's a very big aspect for sure.
It's like do you have the destiny draw? No, but like surprisingly, like we saw, oh my god, we saw a lot of Kaido mirrors that day, and like the player who played Onigashima first always loses. So I'm not sure what's going on. I guess they have learned to kind of be, holding back and then going for the win.
Wow, that's actually kind of weird, like thing to hear about
Yeah.
in terms of like tournament play, where it's like, oh yeah, you play Oni, you're gonna lose. It's like, woof.
It
It's like,
happened like 2-3 times on stream. I was like, wow, that just happened again. He
yeah,
played Onigashima first, but he didn't get the win. So
yeah,
I guess ultimately it's like the player, right? So
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
sure. It's like it's really funny because like one of those things where you see it the first time, it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool, very unique. This kind of happens if they don't play Oni, they still like clean house, whatever. And then it happens the second time, it's like, why is lightning striking twice? Like, what's happening? So yeah, that's definitely cool to hear. So looking forward to in set 2, what, like, I know we don't have, again, disclaimer, this was recorded on October 19th in the US. So we don't have all the cards yet revealed. But looking forward to set 2, what decks do you see being the most prominent, just on gut feeling?
Ooh, I think, well, after the release of that new super rare Luffy, I think Ivankov decks might be at least people will definitely play. It might not be the strongest because I think like its ability is, not that great. I mean, this is a game about counters and you want to have cards in your hand. You don't want to get to 0. But there might be some blue Ivankov lists, and like especially in the first week or so, and they might do decently well, I would say. But we have not seen the full extent of it. But I'm excited for my main man, Whitebeard.
Oh yes.
Oh yes,
Ari
yes.
Samurai said the same thing, and I mean, okay. Besides Whitebeard, it's Garp for me. But like Whitebeard, oh man, give me that 6,006. I don't care. I'm taking life at her. That's me drawing another card.
Yeah, that's so good.
Absolutely.
When they revealed it, I was like, man, are they like smoking something? This is so
This card is nuts.
It's too good. It's like, what is this?
The game developers in the room was like, yeah, we gotta make him 6K life. We gotta give him 6 life.
Strongest man alive, man.
Strongest man alive. But it's so fitting for Whitebeard. I mean, like, he is the strongest man alive in One Piece, and it's so great that he has a leader card. And like, yeah, we'll probably run into a lot of problems in the future where the Whitebeard player will probably be at 0 life for a long while, and you're always scared against like unblockable stuff. But man, it's so good to play like Whitebeard for sure.
Yeah, I love that deck. It looks so cool.
I'm very excited. Do you think that Whitebeard's going to be like meta? Like, what decks do you anticipate being? If you were to throw a guess as to say the 5 meta decks, including set 1 leaders, coming into set 2, from what you know right now, what would you give as the 5 meta decks looking forward?
Yeah, just pure guess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just put Yusa's up there first.
Okay, sure.
It's not going anywhere.
Fair. Yep, fair.
I think Z or Z, I don't know, the black purple leader.
Yep.
Would definitely make that's the kind of like the red green law equivalent. It's a strong multiple colored leader. The 4 life is gonna be like, it's not gonna be an issue because like it's a strong leader effect.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put Z out there. I'm gonna put Whitebeard just because the people will definitely play Whitebeard in the future, and just man, I think Purple Kaido would still be a prominent one,
especially with
like,
Magellan now.
Oh my god, with that event, that Hell's Judgment.
Oh, Hell's Judgment is such a good card.
God. And that is why I'm not going to put Zoro on this list.
Hell's Judgment shut that down.
Yeah, that's fair. So sad because I love Zoro too, and I see cards like that, and cards are becoming even like way more defensive and answerable to like rush strategies. Not like all like Luffy or everybody, but specifically Zoro, where it's just like I need it hit fast and I need it hit hard, and I'm just
man.
Oh no, it's like my main man. It's like no.
That's true. You know what we need? We need like like Ace is probably definitely going to be a reveal.
Yeah.
We're gonna need,
and I hope that it's a red card. Man,
Yes.
I'm hoping
Probably
like
will.
Rush double attack. How about that? Like,
Oh
that's
my
it.
gosh!
Rush,
Yeah.
give him
Hello,
double attack.
Whitebeard.
Yeah, oh my god, that'd be so.
Oh, what would be
Yeah.
really cool is if it was like imagine a world where say it's a 6-drop 7K vanilla, right? It has no effect. But then if you're at like 4 or less life or 3 or less life, it gets rush. And then if you're at 1 or less life, it gets double attack. Like give it the Marco treatment, you know?
Oh, that'd be
that would be
sick.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really sick. Oh
It's
man,
crazy to
okay,
me
I
that we
hope
haven't.
that.
Yeah, like literally, the fact that we haven't seen Ace yet is like
The
wild
longer
to
they
me.
don't show us Ace, the longer we stare at every reveal they show us.
That's true. That's true. That's very true.
I bet they were gonna save the secret rare like 1 week or like a week and a half before release.
I have to
I'm
hope
excited.
Oh
that
my
one of the
God.
secret rares is Ace, right? Like it's just gotta
Yeah.
be. It's
At
just,
this point,
Who's the
what
other one,
else
though?
is there?
but see, here's the thing: is the secret rares from set 1 threw me for such a fucking loop that I can't say
Me too.
anything with certainty.
Yeah, I did not see that
Yeah.
coming when they did it. I was like,
Right.
Yamato and Shang. I mean, Shang's I'm there, but Yamato too. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Oh man, a Blackbeard
mean,
secret
yeah.
would be sweet because we've been missing some
Oh yeah,
Blackbeard.
that's
Ace
Yeah.
and
that's
Blackbeard
what
would make
people have
good
been
secret rares.
saying. I mean, Ace and Blackbeard essentially started Marine Fort.
Yeah, it's what they're
the
all about.
entire
Yes,
war.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I
And the
hope,
fact
yeah, I
that
hope
we
it's Blackbeard.
haven't, yeah, like the fact we haven't seen any Blackbeard, like in the set at all, in set 2 at least, like not leader yet, or I mean we're not even gonna get a leader. I'm like 99% sure. Unless they like pull out all the stops and say we're gonna give a secret rare Blackbeard leader, which would be hilarious, but that would never
man.
happen. That would be sick, but I can't imagine it.
Neither can I. Yeah.
But I wish they did. But the fact they haven't really seen any Blackbeard in this set too, I'm just like, how? It's like
Right. Oh,
one of
man.
2 characters that started. Let's not put him in the set though. Like what the hell?
I'm hoping that it's coming out soon and like it's gonna be so good. Oh man.
Please God.
So we have 4 or 5 leaders. We have Kaido
Oh,
and
yeah.
Kid from set 1. We have Whitebeard and Z from set 2. If you were to pick a 5th leader to top this off as your guess as to 5 most meta leaders coming into set 2, what's number 5?
All right. So I think, and okay, I'm just I'm literally looking at One Piece right now.
The best
I'm gonna get drum
website
roll.
on the planet.
Drum roll.
Okay, so I think it's going to be starter deck Akainu. I think the black deck. At least there's going to be one black deck out there for sure. People are
So either
I mean, people
Akainu
definitely
or
play
Smoker,
mono black.
you're saying.
Yeah, but I think
I'd
I don't
lean
know.
more towards
I've
Akainu
not
personally.
really. Yeah, same here. I've not really tried Smoker out. I've not tested with the black decks, only for Akainu. And I like Akainu. I think it's good, and I want to play that. You know that super rare Akainu. So I gotta have like the
Oh,
leader there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's my thing about
Drum roll,
Smoker is that the better Whitebeard is, the better Smoker is. Because Smoker just very easily, naturally becomes a 7K leader. So if Whitebeard is really relevant in the meta, I do think that like in a vacuum, I think Akainu is better than Smoker. But I think overall they're relatively interchangeable. I think the black deck is going to carry itself more than the black leader overall. And I think we're getting so many black removal effects now that having removal on our leader is not as like mandatory as it used to be. So if Whitebeard is very relevant, I'm still more leaning towards Akainu like you. But I would not be at all surprised for that to be wrong and that to be flipped just because Smoker would be such a good answer into Whitebeard because it'd be one of the only decks in the game that can just punch it down no matter what early.
Yeah, just naturally
Punish it for being
7.
Whitebeard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh right, that's true. Yeah, I think you guys are right. Like, I think the decks are interchangeable, and like the leader would take a little bit of a backseat. But in the case of Whitebeard, yeah, Smoker definitely will definitely be a more preferred leader. I think.
Yeah,
at least comparatively. Sure.
But that's only dependent on how good Whitebeard is. Like, I'm still with you, leaning towards Sakazuki. I just wouldn't be surprised if it was Smoker instead, just because of Whitebeard.
Yeah.
Right. The good thing about like Smoker is that it's not like a king, you know. It's not like Kaido is definitely a much more useful leader, but like these two have great effects, so you can definitely like pick and choose.
And they provide you with different useful avenues to what the deck wants to do. It's not just one is blatantly worse than the other. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh man, it's so exciting! I can't wait for the OPO2 meta game.
Just give me like
too.
one. Like
I can't wait for the OPO1 metagame.
yeah, right.
So
I just
sorry,
want.
guys.
I want black to have some kind of card draw. Like I desperately need it.
Yeah,
And
that's
and then
what
I'm
it
like-
needs.
I'm just like, and not just cantrip like we have in Eruption. We need more, something more. We need
Something
like a
substantial,
plus.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just
Yeah.
like anything, and I'm there. I'm playing black. Like
Honestly, I'm kind of already there. Borsalino and Sakazuki character cards.
Oh my god.
When those
So
two cards
good.
got revealed, I was kind of like, doesn't even need the card draw. These cards are just kind of insane.
Yeah. Borsalino, I mean, Kizaru, insane card. Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
so good.
It's
Yeah.
one of the it's one of my favorite cards out of set too. Honestly, it's really nuts.
so good, like statistically, and I keep thinking about it more and more as time goes on, and I'm just like, man, technically he's like above curve with a counter, and
Yeah,
those amazing
and he can't be
like,
destroyed.
it can't be destroyed. I was
Yeah.
like, what? It's like in
What
terms of
is
card
this
design,
card?
it's like
Right?
what the hell? It's like
Oh,
why
it
is this
looks
card
like-
so good?
It's so good. It looks at Jet Pistol and just spits in its face.
Yeah, right.
yeah, yeah.
Well, we're getting to
Oh.
the end of our time here. So there
Oh,
will
right,
be
right.
links to all of Chaz's content in the description. And thank you for coming on today, Chaz.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I hope we didn't talk for too long. I think we had so much fun that
Yeah.
oh man, it's been about an hour.
Nope, we got it. We got it
Yeah.
right on time.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you guys so much. It's been so much fun, and I hope that one day we get to like, play some matches. Now I would love
Oh,
to play
me
a game
too.
or two
Oh
with you
my
guys.
God.
It'd
Yes.
be so much fun.
You're always welcome on our stream. If you ever have the time and you know we're streaming ahead of time, just hit us up.
Oh yes,
Anytime,
sir. Hopefully. Oh man,
anytime.
that'll be great. I'll drop you guys a message for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
And if you see us on stream, just I would love to have you on just for fun. Like anytime you want to do anything with us, you're
there.
more than welcome.
Absolutely.
Anytime. Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Thanks for
For
coming.
sure. Thanks for coming. We had a great time, everybody, and thank you for watching.
And we'll see you next time.